On to our next session of the day, a very interesting topic which we have not heard on day one and something very unique. Collaboration in the F&B business processes for continuous new product development. And to present this on the stage, I would like to call Mr. Binod Kumar Rajan, Territory Sales Manager from Trace One, with a big round of applause. Can we have Mr. Rajan on stage?
Hello, good morning. Can you all hear me? All right, great. Sorry for the delay. I had to just rush out for a quick loo break. It was getting too cold for me. So sorry to keep you waiting. All right, so I'm Binod. I'm coming from Chennai. I'm here representing Trace One. All right, so Trace One is a product lifecycle management and regulatory compliance software for food and beverage industry. And sorry about my throat. So it's a 30-plus-year-old company headquartered in France, and we have a global presence in 4 continents in 11 cities. We focus mainly on process industry, mainly on continuous process manufacturers. At the moment, we support 9,000 plus suppliers and manufacturers and retailers and serve customers in around 170 plus countries, supporting more than $500 billion in annual revenue. We have a global presence in staffing around 500 plus employees globally. In Chennai, we are around 70 plus employees, which also includes people from regulatory compliance, development team, engineering, etc. So I don't want this to get too technical for you. I'm here to talk about problems regarding food and beverage industry. I had an opportunity to work with Trace One for the last 11 plus years, and I've been working with food and beverage customers. I had opportunity to discuss with them regarding their problems concerning new product development, regulatory compliance, procurement, supply chain, and a couple of other business processes. So what I have understood is that okay, before that, I just thought maybe I'll share some of our clientele with you. These are some of our global customers who also have presence in India, but well, this is not limited. I can share this presentation with you later since we have limited time. I want to move to the other slides, which are the important ones today. Okay, so the 3 main industries that we focus upon are food and beverages, specialty chemicals, cosmetics, and personal care. The common thing here is that they are formula-based continuous process manufacturers based on formulas. This is a niche area, and Trace One is focusing only in this area. We are not into discrete manufacturing or aeronautics or anything else. Till last year, the company was known as Celerant in India. So some of the people present here might be aware of the brand Celerant, but last year we changed the name into Trace One. So this is our global branding today. All right, so I heard the panelists talk here. Before me, I heard the name traceability, information, tracking down information, etc. A lot of times. Coming from a technology company, coming from a software manufacturer, what I understand is that the most important information or the most important asset for a food and beverage manufacturer is basically information. And it's very, very important for you that you are able to not just collect this information, that you're also able to share this information with the right team. You're able to share this information internally. You're able to share this information externally with the right team at the right time. So information becomes very, very important. In regards to the challenges, we can say this confidently because last 3 decades, we had opportunities to work with some of the global giants, top nutritional manufacturers, top alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverage manufacturers, top dairy manufacturers, and more. So we had opportunity to understand what are some of their pain points, what are some of their challenges. So what I'm planning to do for the next 10 minutes is share with you some of the insights that we have learned from this industry. What we feel is some of the maybe common points. I might not be able to cover everything, but maybe I might be able to get some interest out of you based on that. If time permits, I'm here to answer any questions that you might have, but I'm also here for the rest of the day, so please feel free to reach out to me if there is anything you want to ask me. We feel that innovation, value chain management, data management, and analytics and digital transformation are the key challenges in the business transformation or digitalization in the current modern times. How? Well, I'll be talking about it in the coming slides. So, Radisson has been working in the last 2 years or maybe 2+ years doing a lot of market research and study with some of our top customers, some prospective customers during product review time to understand what are the key challenges they are facing. We collected some here. We also have, of course, I cannot name the companies from where this came, but I can just tell you that they are basically from food and beverage industry, maybe ingredients, maybe dairy, maybe alcoholic or non-alcoholic beverages. So one of the ingredient companies told us that they were using fragmented tools. So what it means is that their new product development team members were using formulation with the help of spreadsheet, and they were storing this information in the spreadsheet. Of course, there were multiple NPD members, so they all were using spreadsheets and similar methods, maybe Word documents or other tools for storing this information. So what happens is these developers are, first of all, not able to understand each other's spreadsheet because they were not using the common model or a more harmonized method of storing this information. Another global food and beverage company told us that they were facing a huge issue in regards to data accessibility. So what was happening is that being a large company or being an old company, they had so many legacy systems. So what legacy system means is that it could not exactly be an ERP, but an in-house system or an in-house solution which you might have developed for yourself. This might have a lot of limitations in the current time, but you're not able to replace it because it's been there forever, and nobody wants to take the risk of changing it because there are a lot of pangas and challenges associated with it. So these legacy systems, like the name says, it stays. There's a lot of information there, but you are not able to upgrade it, take it to the next level, or evolve it. So this food and beverage company told us that they were having a lot of information in the legacy system, and there was a lot of problem in accessing information from it. They wanted to put everything in one place, but it was not possible for them. There was another company, a global food company, which had problems in regards to data specification. Specification in regards to raw materials, specification in regards to finished product, maybe labeling, packaging, etc. So this company was acquiring a lot of other companies, and during the acquisition, what they understood is that each company was having their own set of specification. It was very difficult to, bring it all together, put it in a single place, calling it a single source of truth. Another company, which is again, I would say, one of the top leaders in the category, food and beverage company, a global one, said that they had issues in regard to traceability of data from a regulatory compliance point of view. So they said that they were not able to track the data from a sub-raw material level all the way till the finished product, packaging and labeling. They were not able to understand from where the data is starting, where the data is coming in, and where this is going. So this was a problem because from a new product development and regulatory compliance point of view, as you know, people think that regulatory compliance is the end of the cycle or the end of the NPD. Basically, it is not. We consider that regulatory compliance is more of a cyclical process. So it is important that you need to have access to regulatory compliance data and information during the early stages of development. This can really save you a lot of time, maybe sometimes save you from product recall. And also, this is going to speed up your work. Imagine currently, probably a lot of companies, what they're doing is that you have a regulatory team. You're sitting manually, spending hours and hours of time in collecting this data. That there is another team which is verifying the data, making sure that you're getting it from the right source. And this information goes to the R&D. Basically, you end up spending a lot of time. So what PLM system or a product lifecycle management system does for you is to eradicate or take care of these kind of issues, which I'll be talking about in the next slides. And then another issue which was a concern or a pain point shared by another food and beverage company from Asia was from the quality assurance and procurement team. So they said that they were running behind the suppliers, basically, trying to find out if there is any information or any due in updation of any certifications. So normally what happens is, when you have any certifications, I don't know, maybe halal certifications or anything else, or maybe in some ISO standard or any other different kind of certification which needs to be updated, you have to really follow up in real-time basis. You don't have a system which will give you reminders. So basically, somebody from the procurement or the suppliers team need to sit and manually do this. Imagine there is a system which will take care of all these activities. So the problem what this company was facing is that every time there is an update pending or any due in update coming up, they had to literally be worried, scared about it, because if they miss out on that, there is a large issue which is going to follow after this. So all this information which I'm showing here is not probably, though it is coming from 1 or 2 companies or maybe 5 or 6 companies here, but this is something which we have found in majority of companies we interviewed during the product review time. A lot of customers we were implementing the project, and when we do these workshops to implement the project in R&D, in regulatory team, in quality, or in, let's say, even for the marketing team. So when we spent time with them, we understood that these are very, very common points. I think many of you here might be able to associate with it, maybe not directly, but indirectly. So what exactly is PLM system going to do for you? So though it sounds a bit technical, it is not exactly technical. It is exactly your problems and I would say answers to it, or at least a way to show you what you can do to improve your existing process. So on the screen, what you see here is almost all the processes which are happening in a continuous process manufacturing system today. You can see there is project and portfolio management. We call it, let's say, IPMS, Innovation Process Management Suite. That's what we call it. So you can see there is a product data management or a product data record. There is a formulation process, and there is on the right-hand side ERP, right? Basically, your systems like SAP or any other CRM systems or your manufacturing systems, etc. So as you can see, when you are in a project management level, the marketing team, what do? They work very closely with the market research team. They work very closely by getting feedbacks from the consumers. They work closely with the senior management or some other industry experts, or maybe some tips from what the competitor is doing. You get information, right? Now this information or ideas needs to reach the R&D team. It needs approval. We're not talking about just 1 or 2 ideas here. It could be 100, it could be 1,000. It becomes extremely difficult to track these ideas, which ideas are approved, which of these approved ideas are also approved by the finance team. So as you can see, those small blocks on the top, we are talking about the finance team, we are talking about the portfolio management. Basically, you might have 5 products, you might have 50 or 100 products. You have to also make sure that you're able to see each and every product, how it is performing. We're not just talking about new ideas, but also the existing products. Stage gate is more about how your current business processes are being maintained in R&D, or let's say in the business scenario itself. So from a portfolio perspective, right from the time of marketing, right from the time you have an idea, this idea has to reach the R&D, maybe 10 or 15 or maybe 100 ideas reaches. R&D team, what they do various different trials and experiments, and basically you have one final approved prototype. This needs to again go back to the finance team, or because they need to give you an approval whether this is okay or not. And then very importantly, you have to also make sure that your regulatory team is okay with what you're doing, because whichever country you're planning to sell, you're planning to market, you have to make sure that it is compliant to that region. So for example, you might be manufacturing in India, but you might be selling it in GCC, you might be selling it in other European and Southeast Asian countries, or maybe US. On the other side, let's say larger companies, like we're talking about MNCs, they might have presence, let's say HQs in EU and US, but they might have manufacturing in India or countries around. So they have to follow the FSSAI guidelines or GCC guidelines to sell in this region. It's very important that you have the regulatory information right from the early stages of new product development. Otherwise, you end up spending a lot of time, effort, and money for the same. Down you can see we're talking about iterations and different experiments, making sure that all the packaging and labeling requirements are met from a regulatory standpoint, early compliance, optimization. There are different experiments which is done by the R&D team. You have to make sure that you get the best optimized solution in hand. Now, all of these processes, if you look at it in individuality itself, it's a very complicated, very well-defined process. But the key challenge is, is the R&D team, is the regulatory team able to interact with each other? Often we come across this problem from the industry, is that they're not able to exactly get this information from their peers in the other departments. And on the other side, we also have ERPs. This is the key challenge, that you have all the information with you individually, in individual teams, in individual business processes, but you're really not able to share it, because that is the extreme challenge. What a PLM solution does for you is that you are able to have all this information in a single place. We call it single source of truth. So this information you are able to exchange with any relevant team or any relevant business processes as per your requirement. Not only that, you can also integrate with any ERPs or any CRM systems or any manufacturing system which is already in place. So this is what I would say in general, what a PLM system does for you. It's an end-to-end lifecycle management of your product, right from the time you have the raw material, information available in the raw material, the entirety of the life cycle going through R&D, experiments, regulatory compliance, suppliers management, etc. Till the end, we are talking about packaging, labeling, finished product. The entirety of the life cycle is taken care by a single software. This is exactly PLM. It does not mean that you have to really invest in PLM to take care of all the activities, because most of the time what is currently happening is that you have already invested in some ERPs or some technology which is taking care of individual business processes. What PLM does for you is that it basically narrows the gap. It comes in the place where you have a gap, and it can seamlessly integrate with your existing business processes. Let's say, for example, an ERP, and give you continuity in the business process. I'm sorry I'm going a bit fast because I just feel there is a little bit more information that I want to share it with you. If you have any doubt, if you want to see something which I already showed, please stop me. I'm okay as far as Samya is okay with that. So there are 4 pillars of an IT infrastructure when we are talking about in food and beverage industry. We are talking about ERP, we are talking about manufacturing systems, we are talking about CRM systems, and then there is PLM system. We did a research among 100 plus companies. Majority of them were our customers, everybody from the food and beverage industry. We found 100% of them were using ERP system. Let me tell you, most of these were large entities. Most of them were having a huge presence in country or globally. There was a reason we chose these customers is because we felt that their technology or their business processes were well, I would say, well defined. So it was meaningful only to reach out to these people to do this survey. However, I would say that it is not just limited to them. You can compare it and relate to yourself, and you might be able to see some of your concerns and your situation lying in the same. So we found that 100% of the companies are using ERPs. To give an example, it might be Microsoft, it might be SAP, or it might be something else. We felt that 94% of customers are using MES, which is manufacturing systems. Then there are 78% of them who are using CRM systems to make sure that customer data, etc., is taken care of and is stored very well. However, only 26% of them are using PLM system today. What we've also understood that these 74% people are using fragmented, siloed, legacy, non-standard solution to take care of their PLM requirements. So what I'm trying to tell here is that they definitely have or had a requirement for a PLM system. What it means is that they had these gaps wherein they were not able to communicate with other business processes. They were not able to get regular updates from the regulatory team. They were not able to interact with suppliers on a real-time basis. They were not able to give information or update to senior management. They were having problems in the project management because the senior project managers were not able to find out where the delay is happening in the business process. So there was definitely a need for PLM system. But in spite of that, most of them, they did not have it. What we understood here is that there is a challenge that people associate having a PLM system to be very difficult in regards to having it implemented, having it introduced into the system, which maybe to some extent I would agree with. However, if you compare it with the outcome, in the next slide, which I'll be very happy to show you what I mean, you will see that the outcome is much, much greater compared to the small problem which you might face initially. When I say problem, please don't take it negatively. Problem here is associated with the challenge or the hard work you might have to do initially just to get a PLM system adopted into your business process. What Traceman did is that we commissioned Forrester Consulting to do a study on total economic impact to understand how much or what is the ROI when it comes to implementing DevX PLM. DevX PLM is Traceone's PLM, which is catered into food and beverage industry. So we felt that most of the CEOs or decision makers or senior leadership, they are very, very transparent, but at the same time, they also expect this kind of transparency from us when we are talking about technology or digitalization of business processes. So the question what they ask is, okay, you're talking about 100,000, 50,000, I don't know, $25,000 of licenses, but what am I going to get in return? How much time am I going to take to, for these things to reflect? Otherwise, my board is not going to be happy with me. So we did this study not more than 2-3 years ago with the help of Forrester Consulting. And what we found is that to see the result of a PLM implementation, we are talking about DevX implementation here, which is our PLM system. It took roughly 3 years to get a ROI of 70%. The example which we took here is with the help of a customer, a large entity. The benefit was around $6 million USD. The investment in PLM was basically, when we say investment, we are talking about licenses and implementation, was around $3.5 million. And there was a roughly 2.5 million in profit or NPV, we could say. So roughly 70% was the ROI. So there is a complete detailed study done on this. I would be really happy to share this information with anybody if you're interested in knowing more about this. This is a bit technical. There is a huge financial data and modeling which goes behind that, but I can tell you that these numbers are quite real. It's not just an assumption, so I will be happy to share this number with you. So basically, the companies who are interested in the quantitative analysis of a PLM system, you could look at it this way. However, when we are looking at a PLM system, we have to look at both the quantitative as well as the qualitative side of it. The quantifiable benefits, what we felt is the increased operational productivity for product lifecycle management, reduction in efforts to manage suppliers and vendors, incremental profit from faster time to market of your products, cost avoidance from retiring the legacy software. Among many qualitative benefits, I would say to name some, there was a better compliance with regulatory and labeling requirements, decreased risk and cost of product recall, staff time freed up for higher level of activities, and then there is improved service for customers and consumers. So when we look at individual roles and departments, how exactly are you going to get benefited by using a PLM system? So the team from research and development, you are able to do various different trials and experiments, not exactly in real-time scenario. You get a platform to do this in a simulation, in a virtual environment. So this is possible for you in a much faster way, because if you look at the right side, I'm also talking about the regulatory team. What our platform offers you is that real-time information about regulatory compliance. We are talking about regulatory compliance for substances and additives, about all the categories for pesticides and contaminants, halal, kosher, etc. All the food law libraries and food guidelines. So the substance and additives is covered for more than 78 countries where there is a stringent regulation present currently. The food law library or the food guidelines is covered for more than 178 countries. So I could very confidently say today that Traceone is the only company globally today which provides a PLM system which can integrate regulatory compliance with product development or NPD at the same time without bringing in any third party. The advantage here is that the R&D team and regulatory can work very strongly together at the same time. You get an early compliance. Not only that, the R&D has a lot of other benefits as well if you're using a PLM system, like you can version your formulas and approved formulas. You can track all this information. The best advantage here is that you have a single source of truth. If you want to track down an ingredient, if you want to go back to where this came from, who is the supplier, you have all this information available to you in just few clicks. The procurement team is able to better manage the supplier onboarding and approval process in a more efficient and cost-effective way. So we provide a platform wherein you can interact with suppliers. They can upload these documents, they can upload any certifications or any other document, and you can also request them for more information. To give an example, let's say the R&D and product development team saw that you're selling your product in GCC or in India or maybe in Europe. There was a change in regulation, something new has come up. Now you need to update this to your supplier. Basically ask them to provide another sample which was pre-approved. However, there is some information that you need extra from them. All this information, you don't have to make phone calls, send emails, or do this manually in any different way. This can be done with the help of few clicks using a software. The quality team is using the PLM as a current single source of truth for material and product specification. Of course, marketing team can see the entire product portfolio in dashboard. They have the entire set of information about what exactly is happening with different portfolios. They can also track the ideas from where it went, how did it get approved, which was the final approved idea, which made it into the final finished product. Finally, the project management. So for the project management, they can avoid complexity and increase cross-team communication and collaboration and accelerate project and impacts on the P&L. So basically, a lot of times what happens is the project teams suffer issues because you are not able to get the right resources. There was a job which was supposed to be completed in 5 days, maybe by, let's say, 10 regulatory people or 5 R&D team members. It is never getting completed on the right time because in the search itself, majority of time is spent. When you have a PLM system, you are able to narrow it down. You are able to basically understand where is the gap happening, where is the delay happening. So you are able to plan your resources very well, much in advance, giving you the benefit of utilizing these resources in some other area. Basically, a faster time to market with the help of this. So this is basically the few modules that TraceOne has come up with. I will just wrap it up very soon. We are looking at 5 different modules of project management, supplier collaboration portal for collaborating with suppliers, product data management, where all your data is held together. At the same time, you can integrate with any other department, any other business processes. You can also integrate or interface with ERPs. And then there is regulatory compliance. Like I said, the regulatory compliance coverage for almost all the current existing regulatory norms globally. And then there is the product development. This is how our product lifecycle management software module-wise looks like. I'm here for the rest of the day, so please let me know if you want to discuss anything or if you have any questions. Finally, I have 2 business cases. I'll just show you one. Barilla has been our customer for quite some time, a European brand, an Italian brand with presence in more than 100 plus countries with an annual revenue of 4 billion plus. Currently, they are using TraceOne PLM product, DevX, for managing 420 plus recipes. One of the main feedback we received from them is after implementing DevX PLM, they experienced a significant improvement in flexibility and enhancement of governance in product development. Also a quicker adaptation to changing consumer demands. We have a lot of business cases similarly available for multiple brands from different categories in the food industry, like beverages, dairy, bakery products, seafood, etc. So I'll be very happy to share any information with you if you want to relate yourself to some existing products, existing problems which other customers might have faced. I have one more case study here, but considering the time limitation, maybe I can share this information with you later. Sorry I was a bit fast because I was planning to cover as much as I can, but I'm happy to take any questions if you have. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Binod, and big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to Mr. Binod Kumar Rajan, Territory Sales Manager, TraceOne. And I would now request Mr. Abir Mukherjee, CTO from Alpha Milk. Abirji, if you could kindly come and do the honors of felicitating our eminent speaker here. Thank you so much, sir. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, once again. And thank you so much, Binod, for that wonderful presentation. Mr. Binod Kumar from Trace One, ladies and gentlemen, talking on collaboration in F&B business processes for continuous new product development. Thank you so much, Binod, for that insightful session.